This is Armageddon time, trying to get a bunch of stuff together. I know there was one thing I neglected to bring up, as there always is. But anyway, welcome to the Scrubbingly Hygienic Invitational Tournament. Tonight we have a couple matches for you. Looking forward to what those are. Sorry, I'm trying to do approximately 15 things at the same time, so things are going to be a little stalling, and still trying to figure things out. Like I got the speed runs up, I got the timer up, I got the restream up, I got a whole lot of things up, and hopefully none of it comes crashing down. Okay. So I will also make my way into Discord and go to the gaming section. There we go. All right. Warm up my pipes. Get this thing going. Get this thing rolling. Here we go. I'm just calling on to my partner in crime for tonight. Mr. Coach Crab 127 will be joining me shortly, and will be providing much more commentary than yours truly can possibly offer, because if there's one person that I can honestly say is quite the analytical expert at this game and previous games in the SHI tournament, that would be Mr. Coach Crab.
Hello?
Hello!
Armageddon time. How are you tonight?
I am pretty good as I turn off my sound effects on my phone.
Are you ready for some SHI-ing?
Some shing!
Some shing.
Yes, I'm just trying to juggle many things at once over here.
I do not have IRC open. Maybe if I open that, I'll be able to keep track of this race a little bit.
That would be helpful.
But Tiny Toon Adventures, how are you enjoying this game so far?
It is unbelievably frustrating, and yet at the same time, I still like it. I have a very wonderful time playing it. There are a couple levels that frustrate me, and then once you figure it out, it's like it was never a problem in the first place. But then other problems arise. It's like trying to perfect baking a cake. You know, once one thing works, something else doesn't. You got to just keep at it, man.
One thing speedrunners are really good at is finding new ways to die.
Yeah, no kidding.
At least that's one thing that I'm really good at when it comes to speedrunning. Finding new ways to ruin my runs, ruin my potential PBs.
I'm just trying to help Mr. DPadDanny find his way into this race, as he is still quite new with Speedruns Live.
Yes, this will be Danny's first ever race.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a groundbreaking SHI history tonight. Although it is the cesspool bracket, do we really care about those guys?
Well, I have a feeling I might be joining them in the next season, so I can't really speak too negatively on them right now.
You're just moving all over the spectrum, aren't you?
Of course.
Up and then going back down, and
I think I might have peaked a little too early.
We'll have to wait and see what happens.
Of course.
All right. Let's see. Here's the it's logging me in automatically under a fake name. Why is HexChat doing that?
It shouldn't.
Okay, here we go. Now's my opportunity.
Do it.
All right. Now I am in. So who do you like tonight? Danny just put together a couple of really good practice runs. What do you think about that?
Yeah, he just put up a PB and then PB'd that PB by a whole minute.
Yep. He is now under 1530.
Yeah, and I'm still barely breaking sub 20, so he is making waves here. He could be some serious competition. You guys better watch out up there in the upper deck, myself included.
From what I see, it looks like his PB is about 30 seconds better than Enchantress of Numbers. So we've got two, and they're both pretty good. I mean, sub 16, those are some good times. We'll have to wait and see. Most of the wins so far have been sub 16. So this will be an interesting race. In fact, I believe all of the wins so far have been sub 16.
Pardon me. I have just been talking nonstop all day, as I have been around the world and back. But speaking of going all around the world and back, I am going to refresh this multi-Twitch business here so that we actually get these two on some kind of level time period here.
Yes, I hope there hasn't been any buffering on my end either. I see in the chat you called DPadDanny dead.
Well, that's what it that's what it just corrected to.
Oh, blaming the autocorrect, are we?
Of course. Why not? It's 2017. All right, things look good on both ends.
So we have a doubleheader tonight. We have DPadDanny against Enchantress of Numbers first, and then right after that we have Nirm versus Bent Glass Tube. Is that correct?
That is, I believe, what's going to happen.
Yes. And Nirm and Bent Glass Tube is scheduled to start at 11. We'll see what time they start. And looks like DPadDanny and EON are getting ready to start right here. And Danny just joined the race, so
we could be starting this any moment now.
This is, you know, like I said, looking back on, I'm having flashbacks right here because I was much worse at trying to set up my first race than Danny is doing right now. He's actually doing a really good job compared to what I was doing. I don't remember if you were there, but Larry and Buzz were both trying to help me out set up my first race, and I just had no idea what I was doing.
All right, looks like there's two remaining.
Is one of them you?
One of them is me. So I will unjoin.
Enchantress of Numbers is ready. We're going to get started.
Okay. It's not unjoin, right?
Unenter, maybe?
Ah.
Yeah, there you go.
Good luck, have fun, everybody.
All right, here we go. Pending the delay, we have 10 seconds until the race starts. So, looks like the race is getting started, but we'll just go ahead and wait for this delay right here, see how long this takes.
We have go on the right and go on the left. I guess I should, I'll bring up the music in one of them.
Looks like I need to refresh because they both haven't started yet for me.
Yeah, I would go ahead and do that anyway.
Okay, so they're running right now?
Yep. They just both finished the first level nearly at the same time. For me, anyway.
Okay, yes. Now I'm all synced up now. All right. So what was our agreed topic of conversation today? We're going to be talking about tacos, right?
That seemed to be the case. I had actually had a burrito for supper, and I was thinking to myself, burrito versus taco. Is there really much of a contest between the two? I mean, yeah, is it really just the same casing wrapped differently, or is it more of a matter of bread integrity?
That's a really good question. So when I was in Hawaii 2 years ago, I had one of the best ahi tuna tacos I've ever had before with slaw and mango salsa.
Mm. Slaw and mango salsa. That sounds very exotic.
Yeah, this is the Big Island we're talking about in Hawaii. If you ever go to Hawaii, I highly recommend the Big Island. The main reason is it is not crowded at all. It is amazing how few people are there. You don't have to wait in lines for things. It's not what I was expecting at all. It was really quite a pleasant surprise.
Looks
So
like
Danny is in level 1-3 right now. He's heading towards the boss.
looks like
Dr. Gene Splicer.
yeah. Here we go. First boss already. He's making quick work, and looks like Enchantress of Numbers is trying to play some catch up.
Nice boss defeat there by Danny. He's on a pretty good pace right now. Not quite a PB pace, but he's doing solid.
Well, like I've said before, we're also under competition right now. You're under the hot lights. You're worried about performance. People are watching. It's really a big deal.
Nerves can play a factor, especially early on.
I try to just my strategy, which clearly works for me, is I just block out the world and I'm just playing a video game. Because isn't that what it's really all about? I mean, it's also about trash talking, your foes. But okay, maybe that's the first part.
That's the same spot that Danny died last time, where he just died in level 2-1. During his last PB run, he died in the exact same spot. Lin trying to make it to the first boss. Dr. Gene Splicer, or Doc Lobster, as DPadDanny calls him.
We kind of lost. We kind of lost. I mean, this is already heading off the rails. We were talking about tacos. I was wondering, do you have a favorite taco place that is not Taco Bell? If you had to omit Taco Bell because that is kind of the huge, not necessarily the best, but just the huge, what would be your go-to place for tacos?
Well, there's a couple of pretty good Mexican restaurants around the area where I live. Pancho's Grill is a really good. They've got really good steak tacos. Pancho's Grill does.
Steak tacos. I mean, I've had my share of beef taco. I've had my share of chicken taco, and that's it. I've never gone crazy exotic. Like even a fish taco would be exotic to me.
Even a shrimp taco? Never had a shrimp taco before?
Well, let's not get into talking about shrimp, because when we start talking about seafood, stomach gets a little queasy over here. Not much of a seafood guy myself.
Not a bottom feeder fan, huh?
No, not quite. I mean, I save that for my races, if you know what I mean.
Danny almost made the little skip there. Had to go back and correct it.
I can't do that. I can't do that for beans, which is an ingredient in tacos I very much appreciate.
Yeah,
Come on, we got to stay on topic here. Once we start talking about the races, we're no better than the cesspool now, are we?
I guess you're right. Yes. Continue to talk about tacos. So, so no seafood tacos for you. Just beef and chicken, right?
I would like to try a steak taco. I'm not big on steak, but maybe in taco form it would offer maybe like a different mouthfeel.
There's the steak taco that I had a very interesting sauce that came with it as well. I don't really know what it was, but it kind of tasted like an extremely spicy mustard.
was gonna say maybe it's just Thousand Island dressing.
No, it wasn't Thousand Island dressing. It was nothing like that. I can't remember what the sauce was called. But it was very tasty.
Eon working on the pirate ship now.
Mexican restaurant. Do you prefer salsa or queso?
Oh, queso, but I do like salsa.
I think I prefer salsa.
I'm just a big cheese guy. I love cheese. I mean, do you hear all the puns I try to fit into conversation? Always
Yes,
for the cheese.
Cheese puns. Cheese puns are Gouda.
Yeah, I don't know. I would laugh at that. It's just I've heard it before.
Oh, so that was amateur, is what you're saying?
Yeah, this is an amateur hour. Oh wait, it is. This is the cesspool. But I should really not talk so much smack.
With the death.
Yeah, that hurts because I felt that before. And oh, the immediate death again. What is happening? We're off the rails. Yes, it's a slobber knocker out there.
She hesitated a bit. In the meantime, Danny, I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to accomplish with climbing these trees right here.
Yeah, going with Furball in the Spooky Woods.
This is the same strategy. Well, I use Furball as well, but I usually jump through the holes in the trees. I don't climb them that high. There's one spot where I climb, but seems to me going vertical that much in that level wastes a little bit of time. I could be wrong, though. I haven't tested it out to see which one is faster. Just something he's gotten comfortable with, I guess.
I'm actually learning things by watching this. I should really be careful over here.
It's fun watching, different people's strategies and what they come up with, and how similar they do, how similar they run compared to the world record time or other very. Because
they might have strategies that even though, let's say, you have a faster time, they just master one area that maybe you haven't.
And in this game, that is really important. Consistency is so important in this game. It's probably the most important game. Consistency is probably the most important attribute of this game, of any game in the SHI tournament so far, because of how costly deaths are in this game.
What a wicked game it is.
Especially the Elmira. If Elmira catches you, it's basically like a game over.
It's a game over, but you don't refresh your lives or anything.
Yes, you have to go back to the very start.
Great Fido kill by DPad, by the way.
Very good Fido fight. And he's had a gold split. And is he on PB pace again? I can't quite see it. The box is a little bit small.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really tell because, my eyes are very shoddy. So I'll defer to you to be the judge of that.
It looks like he's just a couple of seconds over.
Well, that's pretty good, all things considered. He's foregoing the... or no, I was going to say he was going to forego the tune around, but that was later on. He's foregoing the heart.
Well, he already has a heart.
Well, yeah, but I guess it could have been a free extra life. And at this stage, though, I guess you're not too worried about extra lives, considering it's unlimited continues, but a game over can really set you back, especially if it's at the boss.
Yes, it can. It can potentially. It looks like Danny's not too worried about game overs right now. He's got enough lives. From what I've seen, he's probably only going to die one more time if he does at all. He has plenty of lives.
You know what I do not have enough of, though? Burritos. And I'm just curious, what is the most amount of burritos you've ever consumed in one sitting?
Oh, that's a really good question. When I was in college, I worked on the beach, and there was a Mexican restaurant where they had Dollar Taco Tuesday.
Oh, no.
And, yeah, so, and it was dollar beer and dollar tacos. So those were the days, those were the days. Dollar beers and dollar tacos.
Also known as douchebag day, I believe.
Dollar PBR is what it was. Dollar PBR and dollar tacos.
Bringing out the good stuff, I see.
And I remember one time when I was there, I had a burrito, and it made me sick for like 3 days.
Well, you get what you pay for.
I guess so, but it was. I mean, I went for the more expensive stuff. You know, the $3.99 burrito rather than the dollar taco.
You went for the exquisite.
I was eating high class that night.
Well, unfortunately, unfortunately, the flora in your stomach did not agree with your choice.
Yes, I guess that when you go out for cheap food, you really just need to get the real cheap stuff for your stomach to be satisfied.
Pardon me. Yeah, it's only when you question what you're doing with your life, maybe 15 minutes after consuming your meal, do you know you've gotten a really decent cheap meal. We see that Eon is now into Boomtown, as it's, I think, affectionately known.
And what is this boss's name?
Well, I always hilariously call him Danky Kang.
Danky Kang.
But I'm not sure what the actual name is. Non-committal IP ape boss.
For some reason, he is not in the manual.
No, that's very strange. And yet Arnold the Pitbull is, who is maybe in this game twice?
He's in the first level and also the very last level, yeah.
Yeah, throwing around some dumbbells.
But, I mean, we have Dr. Gene Splicer, we have the Captain Claw, we have Fido, but...
I don't even remember Gene Splicer from the show.
I remember very little of the show. I only remember really 2 episodes. That's the elevator one.
Elevator go down the hole?
Found a giant gold nugget or something like that.
Elevator go down the hole, right?
Gold nugget, and there was causing earthquakes. Those gremlins were mad that he stole their gold. Plucky strats for Enchantress of Numbers.
And plucky strats for DPad as well in Wacky Land, the level that burns my retinas. So I'm not looking at the screen, so you might want to dictate what's happening right now. Oh!
The main benefit for Wacky Land, or I'm sorry, for level 4 Plucky strategies is the boss fight is so much easier with Plucky than it is with Furball.
Danky Kang, absolutely, because you can delay your jumps.
Really helps. Okay, EON heading into the Danky Kang boss. Danny is cruising right along in Wacky Land.
Doing quite well here, I have to say, for under the pressure for his first match. Pretty well, and you know what? Enchantress of Numbers, not too shabby for the first time out.
I think that Enchantress of Numbers is going to have to rely on a DPadDanny death,
which I just witnessed. As Eon finishes up Danky Kang, there he goes down, meet his death with Pauline.
You're right. I just saw that as well. So Danny has to go through Wacky Land again, and Enchantress of Numbers is not too far behind now.
Hot on the trail. This is a good match.
It's a good race. It'd be interesting if we had a lead change coming up soon.
Would that be a first to establish a lead and then to come from behind with the big win?
I think it would be a first this late into the game. There might have been, a couple of lead changes in level 1 or level 2.
I mean, I know we were talking about tacos and burritos, but suddenly I'm a little more intrigued. Cesspool, what are you doing down there?
Pretty good race by 2 pretty good runners.
Yeah. This is interesting. I mean, I have a lot more material to talk about, in terms of tacos and burritos and just Mexican food in general. Like the time I almost hit somebody with my drink at a Mexicalorosa's. But
Oh, that sounds like an interesting story.
well, it's pretty much I was handing the waiter my water because I was exchanging it for a Coke. But for some reason, as I was handing it to him, I was trying to add a little sass, so I kind of quickly handed it to him, but the drink just flew out of my hand and almost hit somebody in the head on the other side of the next table.
Oh, I was hoping that was going to be intentional.
No. Do you think I would intentionally throw a glass? It'd have to be a highball.
I didn't know you in your younger days. You could have been, one of those. What do they call? What do they call those people? Oh yeah, psychopaths. Yeah.
Psychopaths. Well, I mean, how well do you know me?
Well, that's true. Oh, EON takes the death, falling down into the pit at the start of level 6.
Oh yeah, I've done that before. Absolutely, I know that pain. I feel that pain. I'm feeling it right now. It's kind of in my gut a little bit. Oh, I don't know what that really is. No, I'm just kidding.
It must be the burrito you had earlier.
You know what? It might have been. Maybe that sour cream truly was sour. Well, what am I talking about? I don't put sour cream on a burrito. That's ludicrous.
Danny on the final boss. Max. Montana Max.
You gotta watch out for those punching bags, because
coins in his boxing gloves.
You gotta watch out for those punching bags, because even when they stop, there's still the chance that you can take damage from them.
Whoa, and that was really close. He almost got hit right there.
All right.
He's in trouble. He's only gotten one hit so far.
They are both.
Oh no.
They are both at the very last level. This is it. This is it, folks. Head to head.
We are basically even right now.
We are even Stevens. We are even Eon. Even DPad.
DPad still holds a slight lead from what I see, although my stream could be wrong.
Maybe needs a refresh?
I don't want to refresh it right now.
I know, right? It's so intense. You know, that reminds me of a humorous anecdote. There was one time I'd been having several nightmares, and I had to go to the doctor. And when I went to the doctor, he asked me what the nightmares were, and I said, "Well, in one of them I was a teepee, and in the other one I was a wigwam." He shook his head at me and he said, "I know what the problem is. You're too tense." And then I was never the same.
All right, so Danny back on the final boss again.
We are both at the final boss. This is crazy.
So far for Danny. There's Danny's second hit right there.
We are down to the wire here. I've run out of words, but a dot done from DPadDanny. What a photo finish. Are you seeing this?
3 seconds apart. And it was interesting because what you said in my stream, EnchantessofNumbers actually finished first.
Oh no. What does SRL say?
I see in SRL that Danny finished 3 seconds ahead.
Unbelievable.
So,
unbelievable.
Wow. What a race.
That was fantastic.
By far the most exciting race we have had so far this season. So Danny, who led the entire way pretty much, able to hold off EnchantessofNumbers after Danny died on the final boss.
And I believe we have prostate as well. We achieved prostate, as I like to say.
Can you guys hear me?
Hello.
Hello.
Nice job, GG, good sir.
Thanks, man. I really thought I threw it away at like 3 or 4 times. I think you guys saw me get a little tilted in Wacky Land.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but
death in Wacky Land and the death at Montana Max really cost you. That was looking really exciting at that point because you both were basically tied because EnchantessofNumbers died earlier in level 6 about the same time you did. So you guys were pretty much synced going on that final level right there.
Wow.
I believe we have EnchantessofNumbers with us as well. Is she here? Is Eon with us?
Yeah, I had my mic muted. Can you hear me?
Hello.
There you are. There
Enchantress
she
of
is.
Numbers.
So, yeah, I accidentally picked Plucky instead of Furball for stage 6, so I had to take a game over, which cost a lot of time.
That's what
and
was happening.
Those
Yeah,
were
we
the
wondered why
intentional
you were
deaths.
falling to your death multiple times
Yeah.
very quickly.
that was intentional because I did not mean to pick Plucky there, so...
It was a good move, but in the end, it came down to it. It was a really good match, though. It was, DPadDanny had established quite the lead. You came storming back, but oh boy, I'm at the edge of my seat, and that's all I paid for.
Yeah, I had a pretty good pace earlier. It's just I don't know. I was sub 15 pace I think at one point, and I had a couple minor mistakes, and yeah.
Well, here's the most important question of the night. DPadDanny, what is your favorite kind of taco?
What, like crunchy or soft?
And, steak or chicken, shrimp?
I don't know. I guess a chicken taco with like some lime and cilantro sounds pretty good.
Cilantro, very interesting. Enjoys the soap flavor.
It's actually interesting. The cilantro is like whether you like it or not has to do with your DNA. It's really interesting the way that cilantro is such a polarizing spice.
Also, what about favorite Mexican eatery that isn't necessarily Taco Bell?
I don't know. I like Moe's.
Enchantress of Numbers, I'm having a little trouble hearing you. Can you hear her, Armageddon?
Yeah, I wasn't talking there for a while, so...
Oh, okay.
Please, do give us your opinion, Enchantress. The floor is open.
All right. Well, my favorite kind of taco, there's a place near me that does some fried cauliflower tacos, and those are outstanding.
I've never had fried cauliflower. I love cauliflower.
It's delicious. So
it's very refreshing.
It is. So, and they have a salsa bar that you can just load up on all the salsa you want. It's really good. So
I do like some salsa with my salsa.
Right.
Salsa or queso, guys?
Queso, easy.
That's a tough one. Mix them together. That's my choice.
Oh, that's cheating.
They're good for different things. Like salsa is good, guac is good, queso is good, but
if we were at war, salsa versus queso, you had to pick a side, D-pad. Pick a side.
I gotta go with the queso. My heart lies with the cheese.
Yes, thank you. The cheese stands alone.
I guess being from Wisconsin, I should probably say queso too. And plus, I make a pretty mean queso myself.
Oh, really? Just go with your heart.
Yeah, I don't have a good salsa recipe, so I gotta say queso.
My salsa recipe involves turning a crank and going with the lid.
That's the best recipe. It's the one I use.
Because there's too many things and it would cost far too much money. Well, how do you think you two did? This was your first race in the SHI tournament.
I'll let Eon go first. I feel like I...
Yeah, this was actually my second race. I raced FAP on Friday.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Oh boy!
Yeah.
Now I'm the one caught with my pants down. Oh my! How did it go? Must have gone very.
Well, so my first race, I got an Elmira driver in World 2.
No.
And then this one I took a game over in 1-2. So
you did quickly recover though.
Yeah, not feeling so good about my races thus far in the tournament.
So Danny in the future will have to face Cantaloupe May and Dig Shake. Is that correct?
That's correct. That was going to Cantaloupe May was going to do a double header today. It was going to be him at 10 and Eon at 10:30, but he got called into work, so he said probably reschedule sometime later. And got up with Dig Shake, and he said probably towards later in the week when he's got a chance to put in some practice. So I'm thinking maybe if I can get a doubleheader with them at some point later in the week, that might be beneficial.
Sounds like a plan. And Eon, how do you feel with your chances with one of the co-creators of this tournament against Dig Shake?
Well, I don't know that Dig Shake's put much time at all into this yet, so that makes me feel pretty good about my chances. Although my showing,
Eon, any thoughts about your upcoming match against Dig Shake?
I think it's I don't know. It should be good. I think I just want to get the race over with.
Do you think he has played this game at all yet?
Not that I'm aware of.
I don't know. He might have tried it, but I wouldn't expect more than a run at this point. I think he's been caught up with Zelda stuff.
What he should be is caught up in his own tournament.
Well, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think Eon, Fap, and I will all benefit greatly from that.
Well, I'm in the All Keys tournament bracket round 2, so I got a race for that on Thursday. So,
wow, good luck.
Thanks.
Who are you racing?
GT.
Is it more important for you, EnchantessofNumbers, is it more important for you to advance to the tournament or to get that sub 80?
I mean, I don't think I've put the time in for the sub 80. I think I have the skill, but just haven't put the number of attempts in to get it. So, I'm anticipating that GTM is a stronger racer than me, and he's gonna win it. He seems to think I'm gonna beat him, so it should be a good race. I would like to get that sub 80, but I don't know. It's not. I think I have other speedrunning priorities that might be higher than that. So.
All right, well, there you have it.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Tournament. SHI tournament, the cesspool bracket. DPadDanny defeats EnchantessofNumbers by 3 seconds. Great race, guys, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Good race, Leon.
So far, one of the best races of this tournament, I must say.
Very good race. Very exciting.
Thanks for restreaming, guys.
No problem. Come back soon.
Will do.